Hi everyone! I'm thoroughly excited to announce and pronounce my admiration and adoration for each of your paths, each of your soul packages that you come with on this planet, able to activate and invoke. I hereby announce the instructions to the Great Golden Awakening. So, yes, this is safer. You don't want to die in the middle of the night from something like a mercury filling that is causing so much nervous damage that you all of a sudden don't wake up. That has happened to some people. You don't want a space heater catching on fire in the middle of the night and killing you and 19 other people, like a story that had happened in New York. You do not want to die in your sleep in any form or way. A poisonous animal, poisonous spider, a fire, any issues in the middle of the night that could occur. It is safer to not need sleep, and this is not induced with caffeines or any false energies or harsh chemical based drugs. This is the actual opposite of a comatose. In my opinion, it is the opposite of being stuck in a sleep. It is being awake enough to not need sleep for as many days that you prepared for in your nutrition plan. This is why some people are calling steroids juice, because this is about juicing your foods. This is religious, this is spiritual, this is health based, this is based on what you are and what you're destined to be. Also, when I connect the dots on my moles and freckles on my body, I look like a Roman warrior, like being of Orion, let's say, because there are other soldiers in the sky. There are Perseus, there is Hercules, there is the Virgo. There are lots of different people to be of based on the stars, which some would maybe call the gods. Okay, like what god are you of? The easiest thing you could do is find what constellation you're of by looking at your moles and freckles, if you have any, connecting the dots. If you're absolutely covered in freckles, hey, more power to you. Not more than me if you don't deserve it, but I hope that you find like that you're of a very specific section of the Milky Way galaxy and you need to be focusing on those things. That would be the best. Each zodiac that we're born of, which some people have chosen 12, some people have chosen 13, some people have chosen absolutely different zodiac and constellations to say they're of, but it's not only one constellation that you do the challenges associated. So this great golden awakening is not only for us as beings, as people, as animals, as mammals that have evolved here or anywhere, right? We're a mixed population now. So as true as this awakening is, where I stopped needing sleep for 10 days, and it would have been longer than that, but I tried running when the cops brought me somewhere. They said they were bringing me not. I told them I would forgive them if they just let me go because they didn't know what I was saying, kind of thing, like asking for my funder, my more or less business partner who got into the country by my sponsorship. I sponsored him with his visa by him funding and purchasing my project plan, not my company, not my name, not anything I create, including this. So this is held free and clear, and information I want online because anything could happen. I am freaked out with my PTSD right now, just being afraid of different things that could happen, not just hypothetical, like people that haven't gotten caught, like an Afghani guy that knows my name because he looked at my Facebook because he stole all my stuff when he tried to knock me out and rape me. Got away with all my stuff, my little Rossetti bag, my backpack. I just bought it, but I got away with my life. Hence, no materialism. No conditional parenting, where you only like care about their existence and them being okay when they're paying the bills and things like that. That can't be the only time you care. You have to have a very, very understanding friendship between one another. I suggest parenting classes if it's really getting to a point of disrespect. That's what I did. I was having to take parenting classes in order to get my kid back from DCS because I admitted to doing marijuana when the nurses asked me how I did so well. Like, I was in labor for 3 hours. 3 hours. My child came out completely clean, healthy, no health issues whatsoever. So they said, "How'd you do so?" I was like, "High on epidural." I said, "Marijuana." I would not admit to marijuana in a non-recreationally legal state, just based on how I've had to like be utilizing marijuana as an anti-anxiety to balance my THC levels. I'm not the only one, and to focus. I started doing weed full time in college, and I was able to get straight A's, and that's what kept my college scholarship. Now, I've already explained to the state even that I had done drugs before, that I've done weed before even, and it took people illegally doing weed to find out they like it in order to vote on it, where it only got 51%, pulled over the top. But at 51%, that meant that all those people had to be doing it illegally to even want to buy their dispensary license when that was happening at first. And this is part of the protocol of getting something like up and going, but without like having weed trees like in the forest for the earth. Honestly, the sky is there is consciousness and omnibenevolent spirit in the clouds that even formulates miracle life, like a formation of the clouds, like, and that's like how the beings of the sky, the spirits of the sky function. They can just morph and change, and it's based on how water does that, based on what words you put out, but it is alive. So where the water from this planet would not want to leave this planet and go on a different planet, because that'd be impossible to keep even like a pond going on Mars or something. Like, I mean, yeah, but like, what about for your water? Like, if you're trying to live there, not just visit. You know, visiting might be a little easier, especially with some other friends that are there, apparently, according to one Marine. So, this Marine and other people that have acknowledged the different beings that just want to live happily, and will be able to do that with this information. It's not only for this planet. I've gotten downloads that and epiphanies and elated realizations that this was not only going to be information that I've been pulling and conjuring and gathering together for this planet. It was going to help other planets too. So here goes everything for our future in a book that I call The Eternal Life Guide. Yes, this is on cardboard, but it was what allowed me to like just freehand decorate this the way I wanted to. So, Eternal Life Guide, How to Live Forever Yo Ho, confidential. Only those that truly deserve to die will die after all, or will be dead after all. Classified. So this book I call classified because what do you classify this as? Bipolar, mania, insomnia, or when we're saying we're not tired and we don't even like feel the need to fall asleep. I'm not lying. I can't do that. It's been like 3 years since I've had the awakening now, because I had to go out and save the world in all the ways it was meant for me as a Roman warrior. Now going into royalty training, like this is next level grace training. After all that was Justice League training for me. So here it is, classified. Now, there's a lot more than just like the simple steps I'm going to be telling you, because this video is already 9 minutes and 23 seconds, and I want to keep this at like maximum 12 minutes. So I'm going to give you the basis of the overview of what this is right now, and then I'm going to go more into detail with other segments in the specific sections, just to keep this video concise and short for you. So, by the way, I've had no surgeries. I only have tattoo makeup on, and obviously the makeup I added on top of it, e.l.f. brand. Love you guys. Cruelty free is super important with doing the awakening, because I realized something, that not only do I have savant, what some call syndrome. It means that we have abilities, like either from brain injury or autism. In my case, yes, I was born flipped in the opposite direction that I would have born. I was made like to be born feet first. Let's say they switched me around. It crushed in the back of my skull when I was born, and I had to go to a craniologist. Couldn't eat or go to the bathroom for 2 days until the cranial adjustment, and they figured out like stimulating my rectum with a Q-tip was the only way to get me to potty. And so now, like, I've had those issues like ever since, where like I have to stick a finger up my butt to like clean out, and like, to do enemas and anything like that to make sure I'm clean. You would not believe like what happens with some people that didn't go through that, regardless. Okay, like when I was eating meat, I hadn't like stuck a finger in my butt in like over a year probably, and I didn't realize that a ring of meat had hardened onto the inside of my butthole, and I'm not the only one that was going through that, because I'm a really healthy eater. I'm very healthy. Like, I exercise when I exercise. Um, I drink plenty of water. I go to the bathroom every day. And this is what had happened because of my body. Like, that's like just the results. Like, from eating something that honestly I would not be able to do the awakening with. If I tried to just like juice the juices in the blood out of an ox, even out of a mammoth, even, I wouldn't be able to activate and invoke the same energy receptors and energy conversion that happens with the nutrients I'm going to teach you. This isn't just about any food item. This isn't about hunting and wearing all the leathers. This isn't about killing anybody that might have AIDS that shows up to your island. This is about this is about what works. Okay, so firstly, it's already 12 minutes and 30 seconds, this video. So I'm going to keep this at 15 minutes, and we're going to keep this at 15-minute sequences throughout this beautiful, beautiful series of videos that is going to get you to the awakening. I guarantee it. And the only way it would be impossible for you is if you're drinking like a half a bottle of tequila every day or something, like my dad, who's now dead. So I wouldn't do that. Even if you're a classy producer who makes campaign videos and documentary videos and saves the world doing this, you can't drink a half a bottle of tequila every day and be fine. So don't plan on doing that, okay? So 13. So from the beginning, the Great Golden Awakening is not only for this planet, it's for our bodies. And that's how I discovered the Bible is written. People have been trying to translate it, probably been doing a great job doing that even. There are like hidden parts to each verse even that opens up even to a third part within the sentence. There is a lot. But when I read in an ancient Bible, not the newer ones, but an ancient one, where it said the fourth mountain, after the angels blew their trumpets, that the fourth mountain turned green. I said, isn't the fourth chakra color green, like the heart? But the new Bible said the fourth mountain, when the angels blew their trumpets, turned pale. So then later on my journey, I'm seeing all these bright emerald green stars up in the sky in San Francisco, including one of the freckle constellations on my thigh that had just been growing new freckles all of a sudden after doing this whole nomadic journey, nomadic ticket gladiator. Okay, then like all of a sudden huge and emerald green stars. I said, oh, the pale was about the stars. Oh my gosh, so that doesn't mean that the new Bible is forcing all the stars to be white. But that is the understanding that you have to discern between, if you are powerful enough to even all falsely believing that we're going around the sunshine. Even people saying it did not make us start traveling around the sunshine. We see the same constellations all year long, on the outside of this planet, not, all year long on the same areas, but Orion was over my house for at least 6 months. So I think that I'm in what they call the actual Roman Empire area based on the stars. So I get to do that, and I'm super excited. Look, it's already 15 minutes. So we're done. I don't know what to tell you. If I do 30-minute episodes, it's like I'm trying to do a TV show from my living room, and then you think I'm trying to be cool when I'm not. So, I guess we're doing 30 minutes then, because you guys have to learn the awakening, because this is way too cool, and I don't want you guys having to go through like the toxic demons of being accused that you're bipolar and then start going through issues like I did after they poisoned my liver with a sedation shot because they brought me somewhere. They didn't tell me they were bringing me. They told me they were bringing me to the police station where my business partner was looking for me, and that would be true because he had just come into town to pick me up from where he left me to go to some orgy house. And this, yes, is the muse for the Joker of Suicide Squad, and I never told him that until recently. And so the whole time I knew that movie was talking about he and I was just like, just watching his natural character, like just watching him, and they had his character like pretty accurate, yes, which had to do with not telling him. Because if I had told him, then maybe all of a sudden he would start getting weird, dismissive. No, they're not. What are you talking about? No, just not believing it because he was going through that. And I was trying to heal him while he was going through like soul possession. Like he seemed possessed because he's like hit people before that were working for him. I was his boss. He still owes me $50,000. You know, you see like Harley Quinn all sad, she's poor, like without the Joker, and she's all sad without him. Yeah, I'm sad because I don't have my love, who's actually my type, my actual Jester King, the king of magic, music, and movies with me, where we are the most mused couple on this planet. It's by far, it's everywhere. It's almost every music video. Those people get crowns. If you have been helping people and you're not being abusive to people, dismissive, talking against the rules of life to get activated, you're gonna be next leveled. Just like myself in the video game of life, where video games are just talking about real life. Except you either chose to do Grand Theft Auto with your nomadic ticket gladiator journey, or you chose, some people chose Call of Duty, they enlisted in the military. Some people chose Tomb Raider, they went to go do missionary work in ancient Israelic temples and things. Some people decided on the game Myst. I decided on Myst for myself because I like books, I like toggles, I like hidden doors, but not like in Never Never Land. That needs to be cleaned up. Oh my god, so bad. What a magical place to, like, for some people to have gone through what they went through and some people didn't. You know, like some, I can't even take it personally because it didn't happen to me directly, even though he was trying to traumatize me, because him and his sister getting their noses done, them trying to like be the king of pop, like, but the king of rock. Like, he wanted to be called the king of rock and roll, and even if he was called that, he still wouldn't have been happy because he knows that he wasn't studying magic, religion, spirituality, cruelty arts, defense, physical martial arts training, karate, kung fu, downloads in your sleep, waking up knowing how to fight, part of Justice League training, from the number one rule is you always appreciate highest power. When I get super sad just about even just being over toxinated, like having too many toxins in my body, is when I get the most depressed. It makes me think of the bad things that have ever happened that aren't even that bad, like compared to some people, but like bad for me. And I wouldn't be thinking about them if I clean all the toxins out my body. But the herbs that you have to get in this, it's going to cost less than $100, but $100 is $100. So $30 even for one of the teas for the kidney cleanse is like a lot to ask of like my mom, who's been helping with her retirement money. Like, and I wanted to see like what I could do with her tips from busking, because that was like a part of her retirement plan. And I discovered like different amazing things that are keeping me clothed, fed, happy until I get a full-time job. All the while, yes, I've been making endless amounts of designs in this house, endless amounts of clothes, endless bags, endless items to sell that are authentic, very New Mexico Southwestern vibe. And that is part of it too, because that has to do with my mom's side of financial income. All the while, I got funded based on my dad's side of things: production, music production, business concept, virtual reality. It was all on like the side of my dad's side of financial income learnings in my life. And being the one daughter that did get to be raised by my dad, I know that I'm necessary. I know that my dad like took off on his other daughters because I'm necessary. I know that I was meant to be made. My prophecy and my legend is known by far more people than I knew about myself, including one video game being about me called The Legend of Zelda, the Friendly Demon. Come on. So, step one is always appreciating highest power. Highest power comes by and like starts poking me on the arm and like to wake me up and reminds me highest power is appreciative. You know, there's this weird like hierarchy battles of like people like trying to say that they've done more in their family than my family, done more in their life than me. And I'm like, and it's less of those people than all the people being so helpful and just offering their assistiveness in teaching people about their area, teaching their ways of sustenance, like their honey farming or their tree chopping or their defense from animals, showing their defense tactics, showing their hilarious comedy, like bringing light to certain social injustice issues. That's always fun. I love seeing those. I love laughing. I love making people laugh. I love crying. I love making people cry over beauty and beautiful things and angelic things. Now, the demonic side of things, what a demon actually is well, there are these little mummified monsters, that were in the forest and were found as mummies. And very recently, there was even land crocodiles that looked like T-Rexes. I mean, more recently than you would expect, there was a carcass of one in a walkway in Tennessee that looks like nothing destroyed it. It's this T-Rex carcass, but it's smaller than the T-Rexes that I've seen the bones of, like, you know, La Brea Tarpit, I think it's called National Dinosaur Museum or something like that. I've been to it. It's where I got my amethyst necklace. Choosing the stones that are right for you is very important. Having elemental protection isn't like not what bulletproof vests are made out of. Okay, so bulletproof vests is made out of earth elements and that keeps you safe. So how can you say that earth elements don't keep somebody safe? How can you say it's a trinket? How can you say when you're not there yet about not being dependent on anything? If you're not there yet, you can hold your breath for over an hour, you are still dependent on air. You can't follow those rules yet until you figured out how to not be dependent on air, and that's only one of the things to become a master of. You're looking at the whole bucket and going, I can't eat that whole bucket of crab legs myself, but then you made some friends because you shared it, and then you got to finish it and it didn't go bad because you shared it with people when you had no way of keeping it, you know, from rotting. So you shared it. So here I am sharing this knowledge with you. If you don't want to believe it, you can believe that Jesus was killed on a cross, even if that's what you want. It's not in the Bible that way, though. You can believe that that's the name of Mary's kid, but that's not how it went either. Mary was one of Jesus's lovers at the same time. The siblings, Mary, Martha, and Lazarus. Anyway, they were together with Jesus. Lazarus was left to die by their sisters, maybe for jealousy. They thought he was already dead, or told Jesus, he's already dead, don't go in there. He goes in there, opens it up, and Lazarus is being starved to death, and he's dying, but he's alive. He goes in there. His sisters, Mary and Martha, put him in there, what? Because they were jealous? about how they really did actually get along as males, but were also sexual with each other, that doesn't end the hope and belief of brotherhood. Especially that Judas thought his best friend was getting killed and went and hung himself, and then that guy didn't even die. This is his dad, and he got resurrected. So don't follow these people. That's not even their real names. That's what you're holding on to. The name Jesus is something else. I have written a book to negative infinity to Jesus, and that is not the guy named Eshu that was ordered to death for bleeding on people, etc. Jesus is somebody else. So when I say I believe in highest power, this is what opened me up on top of dedicating my heart, my body, my mind, my soul, and now I've added even my genitals are dedicated to Creator. Because I've got all these amazing tactics and skills and fundamental rules that has to do with how life actually works, which you can't find in the Bible, which is the story of creation. It's not only about Eshu, who people started calling Jesus. Mary's not even her real name. Martha, Lazarus, these are not these people's real names. The reason why it was included was so that you learn from their mistakes, not for praising them, but the name Jesus is something different. That is why, yes, some of you find yourself defending the word in the name Jesus, which isn't that guy. But that name, yes, is a healer. That name, yes, is a fundamental, very insightful being. That being is very special to me. And at the beginning of this, when I said, I know I'm the bride of Jesus, I am the one with the mark of the beast on my right hand and my left brow, this is a story that has to do with not only what we're of, like that we're supposedly Anglo-Saxon, it has to do with us looking like Earth's, like magical creatures that do really weird things, like Jar Jar Binks or something. I don't know, I'm closer to being more like a Jar Jar Binks than any of the humans, in my opinion. I'm just funny like that. But anyway, 27 minutes, 22 seconds. First rule, highest power. Highest power never betrayed you. Highest power never is going to, as long as you aren't the one betraying. If you betrayed first, then it's not called betrayal. That's just justice at that point to get rid of you if you were trying to blow us to smithereens or something. Bye-bye. So, the first thing to be able to even do the awakening is you have to resist the sins. Not only are sins a waste of energy, like having too much sexual intercourse with different partners, or masturbating too often would be a waste of energy. So the last thing that you do if you're feeling sick is have sex. You don't have sex. Actually, it's not even a thing that you do if you're sick. My cold, for example, turned into a fever because I decided to make love with the guy I was with at the time, and it made my fever worse. Like, absolutely worse. So when on the news it said, to raise your immunity, make sure to make love today, is a lie. You might have so much stress and you need to de-stress it to get rid of stress. You might need to have sex. For better immunity? No, you need to conserve your energy. So you conserve your energy and Okay, so this is a fine balance between removing the stress of the body. These are all doctor-approved techniques that I conjured and gathered together. And the things that I also don't like about the church, I see why the state wanted to separate themselves, because they didn't want to be guilty of supernatural justice, basically, is what it seems like. Because there's a lot of really weird supernatural justice where people just died, and it's all religious, and they're like, there wasn't fingerprints or anything, so we don't know what to do. We're just gonna stay separate. So, look, 29 minutes. Second rule, Grace League training. Step 3, Justice League training. Step 4, those is like the 4th paragraph of the ancient Bible where it talks about the awakening turning off. So don't expect to be able to keep this up unless you are ready to go. You are there. You have learned to not be materialistic. You have learned how to avoid accidents. You have learned how to not make anybody nervous, including the earth who you are defending. If you are not an earth defender, this won't work. You have to be using your purpose of awakening. It's only for those that are going to be doing goodness. only. It will not work otherwise. I will laugh at you when you try to do all these other bad things if you are not listening. So, I'm going to have to do further videos. This is just the first one. All useful, absolutely necessary information for yourselves to help you understand what this is, that it's not an illness, it's not a sickness, and it's actually safer. And if any doctors talks against this, their license could be canceled and revoked because what? You're trying to keep people on sleeping pills? Is that what you're doing? You're trying to make sure you can shove a sleeping pill in there to get them in your rehab or what? Or you're nervous because some people have had the health concerns, so they weren't dying. They weren't like going through an aneurysm. They weren't going through issues. Some people have had an aneurysm just from cooking pig and sniffing the fumes from the pig cooking and got a brain aneurysm. And you're going to tell me you're worried about people not needing sleep where they won't burn their house down with a cigarette? They're not going to trip and fall on a slippery tile because they didn't order slippery tiles for the house. They ordered grippy, nice, sturdy granite ones or something where they didn't slip and fall. Like just simple things that you will avoid with doing the resisting of the 7 deadliest sins. So you have to start with that. Look it up. Bible.org is a great place where they feature the 7 deadliest sins that you're going to start resisting. So make sure to do that. Stay clean, stay hydrated, stay well fed, especially with the juices of the fruits and vegetables on your blood type diet. And that's as far as I can go with this video. Have a good day.